What's up guys, Flashfire here. Today I am bringing you another team building video. As you can see right here, we are going to be building with Mega Medicham today, which you guys have been asking for a couple of weeks now. This is one of my favorite Megas in OU at the moment. This thing is just such a fantastic wall breaker. I had so much fun using it during the suspect test, although I don't think I uploaded a session with it. It was so good during the Mega Sableye suspect test, just because Mega Sableye was its primary check and it was gone. It was just fantastic. But anyway, as always guys, if you want to leave a like right down below this video, if you can get this to 70 likes, I will put a pastebin file of this team down in the description so you guys can just copy and paste it into Showdown and play with it, because this team has been performing pretty well on the ladder, and it's real fun. It was built more for the suspect test, so it's kind of more geared towards that than regular play, but I've been testing it and it has been working out really nicely in on the regular ladder. So yeah, that's where we're at. But anyway, we're going to jump into it right now. We have Mega Medicham right here. This is going to be running High's Jump Kick, Zen Headbutt, Fake Out, and Ice Punch. I feel like this is the best moveset for the current meta. Obviously, you can run the dual stab with dual priority, with Fake Out Bullet Punch. You can run Drain Punch over High Jump Kick. You can run Sub. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this thing. I've just chosen to go with the route of this is a powerful wall breaker, and I'm going to use it as such. I like running the Jolly nature because this hits base 100 speed after Mega Evolving. That allows you to outspeed X controls and all this kind of stuff very reliably, unless obviously there's a Scarf involved, but yeah, whatever. I really like this. We're also running Telepathy on regular Medicham because it means that it can take a foul play a bit better if you switch it in, because if you run regular Medicham with pure power, then obviously you're going to take more damage. I also feel like it doesn't make a difference, because if you're hitting stuff, you're going to Mega, right? Like, that's just how it works. I don't know, it's just a little thing. It's just like running Light Metal on Mega Scizor. It's just a little thing that might help one day. I don't know. But anyway, this thing is a crazy good wall breaker. When it Megas, it goes to base 100 attack and it gains pure power, which puts its attack stat somewhere around 600, which is stupid. It 2-hit KOs almost all of the OU tier. The only things it really misses out on are things like Mew, Mega Sableye, and Slowbro. Those are the three best checks I can think of off the top of my head to Mega Medicham in the OU tier. Obviously, Spiritomb is a pretty good check to it if you want to go all the way down there. But that meant that during the suspect test, this thing was just all over the place because there was no Sableye, and that was the best check. But yeah, this thing, crazy good wall breaker, and I really like it. It's one of my favorite OU mons. The next one we're going to go over is, it's actually Swords Dance Talonflame, which I very rarely use. I don't know that I've ever used Swords Dance on the channel, but I feel like this thing pairs really nicely with Medicham, just because they're both physical attackers, so they both have, you know, relatively similar checks and switch-ins and all that kind of stuff. Mega Medicham's a fantastic wall breaker. The idea is the early game you throw out Mega Medicham, you break down all the walls, all the things that Talonflame struggles with, then late game, bring in Talonflame, set up a Swords Dance, and just destroy souls. That's the game plan. So we're going to be running Swords Dance, Brave Bird, Flare Blitz. Obviously, this is pretty standard Talonflame. Obviously, we're going to go for Gale Wings because we're not running Quick Claw, guys. Come on, we're not that pro. And then we'll just run Roost here for a little bit of extra longevity. I was originally running Banded in this slot, but then I felt like with the extra, like, Swords Dance just provides a bit more punch, obviously, and it lets you switch up your moves, all this kind of thing. I feel like it makes it a better late game cleaner, which is what I want this guy to be. With a Choice Band, it's more kind of just like a revenge killer, possibly a late game sweeper, but you have to weaken your opponent down quite a lot. So that's where I'm at with this thing. We're going to call you Smogan because you're totally fair and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, with the Swords Dance up, this thing is crazy powerful. Obviously, we're running the Sharp Beak right there to allow us to 2-hit KO Thunderous with, I think, is it Thunderous or is it Raichu? One of the two. An Electric type with Brave Bird. And the speed investment right there, 136, and Jolly is to allow us to outspeed Thunderous, just because that means that we can throw Flare Blitz around, and that our Brave Bird outspeeds their Thunder Wave. That's the plan right there. So that's our offensive pairing, our offensive core. The next thing we're going to go over, I was running Mew mainly during the suspect test, like I said, to check Mega Medicham, but it has carried over into the regular play to also be very good. It's really nice to be able to spread status, remove hazards, and just kind of disrupt people with one mon. Like, knock off Defog Will-O-Wisp. It's a really nice supportive move pool. Obviously, it doesn't really hit that hard on its own if you're down to just this Mew versus the rest of your opponent's team. You're a little bit boned. But other than, you know, that very unlikely scenario, this is a really nice mon to have. Very supportive, very helpful. to the war effort. This guy's called Pink Guy, and yeah, this guy's really, really nice as a defensive mon. I enjoy it a lot. This is probably actually the weakest link on the team now that the suspect test is over, but it still holds its own and works out pretty nicely. The second half of our defensive core is going to be Ferrothorn. Now, I always kind of agonize over what item to run on this guy. I ended up going for leftovers. I've decided, my philosophy with leftovers Rocky Helmet is, if you're running a more offensive team, I feel like it's better to run Rocky Helmet, because the idea with an offensive team is obviously you're trying to end the game as fast as possible by just putting pressure on your opponent all the time. Best way with Ferrothorn to put pressure on your opponent is to punish them for hitting it with Rocky Helmet. With a more of a balanced team like this one, it's kind of better to have a bit of extra longevity on the Ferrothorn, so that it can survive, you know, an extra 5-10 turns, however long, with a little bit of passive recovery, and just kind of annoy your opponent's team a bit more. This is going to be our Stealth Rock setter. Obviously, Mew with the hazard removal is great because we have the Talonflame. Running something like Talonflame kind of forces you to run Defog. I don't think, if we didn't have Talonflame on the team, this team probably wouldn't actually need hazard removal, except against hazard stack. But I feel like it's real nice to have, anyways, right? Like, it's just good to have. But anyway, we're going to be running Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, and I believe Thunder Wave and Power Whip. Just because you guys always yell at me if I run Thunder Wave and Jarable. But this guy tends to be pretty nice, especially as Power Whip is much less common than Jarable, I found. People are more likely to do silly stuff like, I don't know, leave an Azumarill in on this guy and let you smack him with a Power Whip. Actually, the negative speed nature isn't necessary because we're running not Jarable. So I can actually put minus in special attack right there and allow us to speed creep opposing Ferrothorn, which almost definitely makes no difference, but it might matter. You don't know. There might be an offensive Ferrothorn out there. I have no idea. This guy's called Hug Me, and this defensive core has worked out pretty nice. It's worked out pretty good. Now, as you can see from the team currently, we are quite vulnerable, I feel like, to Weavile, and I really don't like that. I often struggle, like, I'll often build a team and then be like, oh wait, this team is wrecked by Weavile, cool. So I managed to catch that midway through the team building here, and we're going to be running a Choice Scarf Keldeo right here, just as a nice little Weavile Bishop check, because as you can see, our team kind of struggles a bit with both of those. Like, Ferrothorn is kind of a soft check to Bishop lacking low kick, but it really doesn't check Weavile because most of them run low kick, and also freaking Icicle Crash does a butt ton. So, this guy is going to be our kind of dedicated check to those kind of mons. We're going to be running a Choice Scarf right here, just because this team is I don't want to say it's lacking speed, but we don't have a Scarfer yet, and this actually works out as a really nice Scarfer most of the time. Obviously, running Specs, Life Orb, all this kind of stuff is real fun for the extra kick, but running a Choice Scarf on this guy actually turns out to be very, very good a lot of the time. So we're going to be running the standard offensive move pool right here with Icy Wind, just for a bit of utility. The extra power boost from running Hidden Power really doesn't often make that much difference, so I'm quite comfortable running Icy Wind right there. And then the final one we're going to go for, I kind of just wanted some electric coverage. Like I said at the start, the things that check Medicham are Mew, Slowbro, and Mega Sableye. Those are the things that I can think of off the top of my head. And like, we just generally, this team deals with Mew relatively well. We don't really deal with Slowbro at the moment, so I figured it would be cool to run a Raichu right here. I'm kind of debating what item to run. I went for Assault Vest in the end. I feel like you could definitely go for Specs if you were feeling it. I just kind of like the ability to change up movesets. You can also kind of bluff items with this guy, which is kind of fun. But most of the time you don't need to do that. It's just like you can sometimes. I don't know. This is the we're going to be running the standard AV set, because I guess the rationale behind not fully investing in speed right here is if you invest any more in speed, all you're doing is speed tying with other base 115s, which is it really worth it? Like, you have a 50% chance to outspeed Starmie. Is it? You can have a little bit of extra bulk instead. I think, I prefer to go for the extra bulk, to be honest with you guys. So this guy is called Yellow Sacred, and once again, we're going to be running a pretty standard move. Oh, I can spell. We're going to be running a pretty standard moveset on this guy, which is going to be going for a little bit of Thunderbolt, a little bit of Volt Switch, some Hidden Power Ice, and some Shadow Ball, just to hit, you know, your Garchomps, your Landos, your Latties, all that kind of stuff. Shadow Ball Ice, Hidden Power Ice is good. And so yeah, this is the team, guys. As always, if you guys have got any suggestions for how I can improve it, remember to let me know down in the comments below, because I want to. Obviously, this team's pretty good. I want some extra feedback from you guys. Like I said, we do kind of a bit struggle with Mega Sableye, but basically the game plan versus Mega Sableye is to either put on enough offensive pressure that it can't set up, because that's the only time it's really a problem for this team, or have Talonflame counter it with, well, not counter, but check it with Swords Dance, because obviously it can't get burned, and that's a fun time. So yeah, this is the team. Remember, guys, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below if you want to see this used in lives and battles in the future, because I will be uploading videos with this team throughout the week, and the best way for you guys to know that that's happening is to subscribe, and then they show up in your feed, and it's a fun time. So yeah, as I said, leave a like if you want to see a paste bin of this team, let me know how I can improve the team, and I will see you in the next one.